I have an update on this video as Coinbase sues the SEC.
When Lambo, I'm such a degen.
That's right, Coinbase sues the SEC. The drama is building. Welcome to Degenny from the blockchain, where we DeFi logic. The drama dates back almost 2 years, so let's get right into the news. Coinbase sues SEC after months-long silence from federal regulator. This was from April 24th in the evening. Coinbase took legal action against the SEC on Monday, asking a federal judge to force the regulator to share its answers on Coinbase's July 2022 petition on whether existing securities rule-making processes should be extended to the crypto industry. The 2022 petition, which we're going to go over in a bit, didn't receive a specific public response from the SEC, which has pursued a spat of enforcement actions against individuals and entities in the crypto industry. And Coinbase was the subject of a Wells notice. Coinbase was the subject of a Wells notice from the SEC in March, a formal warning that the enforcement action against the exchange could be expected. Okay. Continuing on, this is from CNBC and many other news outlets. Crypto exchange Coinbase filed suit against the Securities and Exchange Commission on Monday, asking that the regulator be forced to publicly share its answer on a months-old petition on whether it would allow the crypto industry to be regulated using existing SEC frameworks. The July 2022 petition asked that the SEC propose and adopt rules to govern the regulation of securities that are offered and traded via digitally native methods, referring to digital assets like crypto. And the SEC did not offer a specific public response to Coinbase's petition, but in recent months has aggressively ramped up enforcement actions and warnings against crypto exchanges, including Coinbase. So yeah, of course, Coinbase is trying to be transparent with you and just ask a simple question, can we do this? And instead of taking a few months to kind of go through it all and come up with an answer and decide what's in the security and what's not, they just slap litigations and threats to Coinbase and other crypto entities. I mean, it's crazy. Just, say, what, we're going to have to take about 6 months to evaluate everything and we can come back with an answer then or something like that. But they're just silent. They keep skirting the issue and they keep threatening legal action against these companies. So Paul Grewal, the Coinbase chief legal officer, said, "Today we filed a narrow action in the U.S. Circuit Court to compel the SEC to respond yes or no to a rulemaking petition that we filed with them last July, asking them to provide regulatory guidance for the crypto industry." Simple as that. And they get no response, or instead they get litigation against them. From the SEC's public statements and enforcement activity in the crypto industry, it seems like the SEC has already made up its mind to deny our petition, but they haven't told the public yet. So the action Coinbase filed today simply asked the court to ask the SEC to share its decision. Coinbase Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal said. So yeah, again, the SEC made up its mind to deny the petition and haven't told the public anything about this very big market cap financial industry that I think, if you're going to slap Wells notices on people's desks, give them a fair chance, right? Nobody's having a fair chance here. Since January, the SEC has taken action against crypto exchanges Bittrex and Gemini, crypto lenders Genesis, and a number of individual actors accused of manipulating crypto assets, including crypto entrepreneur Justin Sun, that's a loose term, and disgraced Terraform Labs founder Do Kwon. Okay. The move is Coinbase's first formal salvo against the regulator a little over a month after it was warned by the SEC of pending legal action through a Wells notice. And Coinbase does not take any litigation lightly, especially when it relates to one of our regulators. Regulatory clarity is overdue for our industry, Grewal said. Yet Coinbase and other crypto companies are facing potential regulatory enforcement actions from the SEC, even though we have not been told how the SEC believes the law applies to our business. That says it right there, and the SEC did not immediately return a request for comment. Yeah, that says it right there. They haven't been told by the SEC how the laws apply to their business, but they're going to be slapped Wells notices. That doesn't make any sense at all. Any sense at all. You have to tell those entities what's going on in that particular new business. And if you need time to figure it out, SEC, come out and say, we need a year to go through all the technology that crypto is before we provide a regulatory clarity. At least we would know, like we're waiting for something, but we have no idea what you're doing, and it's been years. So years, I say. So let's go back into the timeline and see how long it's been. So Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, back on September 7th, 2021, posted a big thread on Twitter, and he says, some really sketchy behavior coming out of the SEC recently, and it's story time. Millions of crypto holders have been earning yield on their assets over the last few years. It makes sense. If you want to lend out your funds, you can earn a return, and everyone seems happy. So a bunch of great companies in crypto have been offering versions of this for years. Coinbase came out recently and said we would be launching our own version. Okay. We were planning to go live in a few weeks, so we reached out to the SEC to give them a friendly heads up. So Coinbase back in September of 2021 is going to the SEC all open and transparent and saying, hey, we're thinking of doing this staking platform. What do you think? Let us know if we have to change anything. You know, let us know if there's a little unclarity here. Maybe you can clear it up for us so we can be compliant. In the SEC, well, you'll see. Brian Armstrong says, they responded by telling us this lend feature is a security. Okay, it seems strange. How can lending be a security? So we asked the SEC to help us understand and share their view. And we always make an effort to work proactively with regulators and keep an open mind. So they refused to tell us why they think it's a security and instead subpoena a bunch of records from us, and we comply. Demand testimony from our employees, and we comply. And then tell us they will be suing us if we proceed to launch with zero explanation as to why. All right, so again, SEC threatening with litigation when Coinbase is trying to be upfront. That's just unfair. Look, we're committed to following the law. Sometimes the law is unclear, so if the SEC wants to publish guidance, we are also happy to follow. And it's nice if you actually enforce it evenly across the industry, by the way. But in this case, they are refusing to offer any opinion in writing to the industry on what should be allowed and why, and instead are engaging in intimidation tactics behind closed doors, whatever their theory is here. It feels like a reach land grab versus other regulators. And meanwhile, plenty of other crypto companies continue to offer a lend feature, but Coinbase is somehow not allowed to. So Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC, in his confirmation hearing said, it's important for the SEC to provide guidance and clarity. Sometimes that's a clarity that will be a thumbs up. And even if it's a thumbs down, it's important to provide that. That was from March 2021. Interesting. That seems contradictory that they're not providing clarity when asked to provide clarity in a very formal and compliant way. If you don't want this activity, then simply publish your position in writing and enforce it evenly across the industry. That's what we just said. Ostensibly, the SEC's goal is to protect investors and create fair markets, so why are they protecting here? And where is the harm? People seem pretty happy to be earning yield on these various platforms across lots of other crypto companies. Brian Armstrong goes on to say, shutting these down would arguably be harming consumers more than protecting them, and by preventing Coinbase from launching the same thing that other companies already have live, they're creating an unfair market. In May of this year, I traveled to DC to meet with every regulator and branch of government I could. And the SEC was the only regulator that refused to meet with me. So again, now the SEC is not only skirting the question or the issue here that Coinbase is being very open with and very upfront with, but now the SEC is hiding from Coinbase, from this thread that Brian Armstrong put out back in 2021 in September regarding staking and trying to be compliant with the SEC. They said, we're not meeting with any crypto companies. This was right after we became the first crypto company to go public in the US. So that's weird. Why are you saying we're not going to meet with crypto companies? This is a publicly traded company, Coinbase is, under your guidelines and laws that you put out. So they are compliant with you, and they're trying to be even more compliant right now. But you're just calling it a crypto company instead of a publicly traded company that you approved. So scrolling down, Gensler had been confirmed just a month prior, so I brushed it off as the SEC still getting its feet under it. Now I'm not so sure. Yeah, again, just like we said, and it's been almost 2 years later and still nothing. They haven't got their feet under it. We've always tried to be good actors in the space, leaning into sensible regulation even when it is difficult or expensive. We try to think about what products we would want for ourselves and what risks we would want our families to be aware of before launching products. We will keep following this approach. Look, whether you like Coinbase or not, whether you're super uber decentralization or not, Coinbase is a very convenient exchange for United States customers. So it's very simple, and has a very good user interface, and a lot of mainstream people or people coming into the market come on through Coinbase. So I'm pro crypto, so I'm pro anything that's going to help people get into the space, and centralized entities are there for that, I would say, for the most part, and Coinbase is trying to be upfront. And it's just they're not getting clarity, yet they're getting slapped with litigation. It doesn't make any sense because they're not hiding from you. You're actually hiding from them, SEC. Yet here we're being threatened with legal action before a single bit of actual guidance has been given to the industry on these products. Again, this is from September 2021, and we still have no guidance. Whoops. So we're on number 20. If we end up in court, we may finally get the regulatory clarity the SEC refuses to provide, but regulation by litigation should be the last resort for the SEC, not the first. That has to be retweeted because it is so timely and relevant right now. This aged well, right? Okay. And finally, our door remains open. Hopefully the SEC steps up to create the clarity this industry deserves without harming consumers and companies in the process. America could really use us all working together to figure this out right now. Well, Coinbase, by suing the SEC, you definitely joined that party. Yeah, stand with crypto. That was today, 13 hours ago, or late last night. Just meant to stand with crypto, Brian Armstrong did. So there you go. Moving on, so that was September 2021. Now we have that petition mentioned earlier in the CNBC article from July 21st, 2022. This basically says that, well, let's read. Coinbase petition for rulemaking, digital asset security regulation. Dear Miss Countryman, Coinbase is filing this petition with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission requesting that the Commission propose and adopt rules to govern the regulation of securities that are offered and traded via digitally native methods. Very clear, including potential rules to identify which digital assets are securities. Digitally native securities are recorded and transferred using distributed ledger technology and do not rely on centralized entities and certificated forms of ownership that characterize traditional financial instruments. Exactly. Transactions in these securities, henceforth digital asset securities, are executed and settled in real time, permanently recorded on blockchains and visible with equal access to all market participants. This is a paradigm shift for existing market practices, rendering many of the Commission rules that govern the offer, sale, trade, custody, and clearing of traditional assets both incomplete and unsuitable for securities in this market. Yes. And then in this line, the U.S. does not currently have a functioning market in digital asset securities due to the lack of a clear and workable regulatory regime. Yes, we could go on, but again, this is from July 2022, and there's still no clarity. The Coinbase is literally asking in a formal petition that the SEC just say yes or no. Please. We are threatened with litigation, yet we are not being told what we can and cannot do. when we're asking for it? Doesn't make any sense. So we fast forward to this article on August 11th that was published. This is on CoinGape, but I think it was through many news outlets. The SEC starts scrutinizing crypto exchange Coinbase for its crypto staking program. Really? Because Coinbase, let's see, almost a year prior to this, asked you if this would be okay, and you said no, which is fine, but gave no reason, which is not fine. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has extended its oversight over the Coinbase staking program. This program allows Coinbase users to stake their digital assets and earn rewards. As per Coinbase's quarterly regulatory filing, it noted that the exchange received investigative subpoenas and requests from the SEC for documents and information about certain customer programs, operations, and existing and intended future products. Investigative subpoenas. Coinbase was open with you, SEC. In addition to its staking program, the SEC has asked Coinbase to release information on stablecoin products, the asset listing process, and the classification of assets. Coinbase is not the first crypto exchange to offer staking services. It allows users to generate yields on their crypto holdings by allowing them to verify transactions and secure the blockchain network. Coinbase quarter 2 results in battle with SEC on Tuesday, August 9th. Coinbase announced its results for the second quarter of 2022, reporting a net loss of more than $1 billion. The crypto exchange attributed its dismal performance to the market crash and uncertain macroeconomic conditions that even got worse after that. But for the second quarter, Coinbase blockchain rewards revenue for staking accounted for 8.5% of net revenue. On the other hand, Coinbase has entered a fresh scuffle with the SEC after the security regulator alleged that some of the crypto listings on Coinbase are securities. However, Coinbase has strongly denied this allegation in its latest regulatory filing, where they said, as with all regulators around the world, we are committed to productive discussion with the SEC about crypto assets and securities regulation. After the crypto market crashed this year, the SEC is looking to tighten its grip over the crypto space. As a result, it has increased its vigilance over the working of crypto exchange and crypto firms. And after a strong listing last year, the coin stock has been heading south, down 60% year to this date of the article. Yeah, that says the SEC starts scrutinizing crypto exchange Coinbase for its staking program, which just makes no sense because almost a year prior, Coinbase was trying to be upfront with you and you wouldn't provide clarity. Instead, again, you just threaten Coinbase. So then to 2023, the next story in the saga between Coinbase and the SEC was from March 2022, where the SEC, Coinbase asked, this is from Coinbase's blog, we asked the SEC for reasonable crypto rules for Americans and we got legal threats instead. It's basically like, this is when the SEC served Coinbase a Wells notice regarding an unidentified portion of their listed digital assets and their staking service, Coinbase Earn, Coinbase Prime, and Coinbase Wallet after a cursory investigation. So there's a Wells notice saying, we investigated you now for a year and a half, let's say, and we threatened you along the way, and now here's your official Wells notice. And it all leads to a couple weeks or about a month after that, as we already went through, on April 24th, that Coinbase sues the SEC after months of silence from the federal regulator. Wow. That's a lot to unpack, a lot to go through. But basically, the SEC, to summarize, has been upfront about what they're offering and has been trying to gain clarity on what they can and cannot do with the SEC. And instead of the SEC just taking a simple stand that says, you know what, we got to look into this more. This is a new digital asset space. Give us 6 to 10 months to a year and we'll come up with some guidelines at that point. At least we would know. It's been almost 2 years now since it was first brought up just by Coinbase and their staking program. Of course, it's been brought up before that as well, and there's still nothing. So I mean, we have, just to summarize everything in terms of dates and how it went down. Let's look at the timeline one more time. Coinbase versus SEC. We had on September 7th, 2021, CEO Brian Armstrong reveals the SEC threatened Coinbase with legal action after reaching out to the agency for clarity and compliance on staking. And then we had in 2022, in the summer, in July, Coinbase files a petition for the SEC to provide clarity by adopting rules and identifying which digital assets are securities. And yeah, got no response. And on August 11th, later that year, an article was published reporting the SEC starts probing Coinbase with subpoenas on their staking platform. You can see it starting to heat up with Coinbase and the SEC, leading to March 2022, or March 22nd, 2023, where Coinbase has served a Wells notice from the SEC. And then about a month later in April, on the 24th, Coinbase sues the SEC, asking the agency to be forced to respond to the July 2022 petition, asking for clarity and provide regulatory guidance for the crypto industry. There's the Coinbase versus SEC timeline, and that last quote actually came from the chief legal officer at Coinbase, Paul Grewal, where on the date that where they sued the SEC, he said, today we filed a narrow action. We already went through this. Just asking to provide regulatory guidance for the crypto industry, yes or no. He goes on to say, it's obvious that there's a lack of clarity among our regulators regarding crypto, as even the chair of the SEC, Patrick McHenry, has declined to say which crypto assets are securities. As even the chair of the the chair of the SEC, Gary Gensler, and this is Patrick McHenry, the chair of the financial committee. When asked if ETH is a security, he simply had no answer. He literally didn't say yet, he had no answer. He's not saying it is a security. At least we would, move forward with that. Although he's said it was a commodity in the past, so I don't know. And then it just doesn't make sense. This whole thing is a circus. The crypto industry and its users need clear laws and rules to follow that are built for a new technology. Enforcement actions based on applicable securities laws aren't the answer. Let's go Cavs. Guess he's a Cavs fan. They're on the brink tonight, aren't they? Down 3-1, I think. That's the chief legal officer of Coinbase just stamping his take on the whole thing, just as Brian Armstrong has in the past, and all the articles that we went through show. Wow. So that is I wasn't on camera, was I? Oh, it doesn't matter. Hey, say hi to Lioness, gorgeous cat that we have here that loves to come around during some of these videos, and we love her. So yeah, that's it. The timeline I posted on Twitter. If you want to go through it again. Oh, I'm full screen. Yeah, so here's the timeline again on Twitter. I posted just to get it out last night, about 10 hours ago. All the way dating back from September 7th, 2021, when the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, initially reached out to the SEC for regulatory clarity on their staking platform that they were offering and they're about to launch, and got nothing back but threats. Not even a timeline of, yes, we'll look into it and get back to you. And then more subpoenas, and Coinbase complied, leading to even more threats from the SEC towards Coinbase. And then you fast forward to that was all throughout 2022 when it began in 2021. And then throughout this year, we had some drama as Coinbase was officially served a Wells notice that there could be possible legal action coming your way officially from the SEC. So Coinbase says, yeah, F that. We're going to sue you instead and say you're not complying with your own rules, and we're a publicly traded company that's just trying to get some guidelines on this new space, and you're threatening us. Not cool. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below what you think of this entire Coinbase versus SEC saga and what's going to happen next. It's certainly a big drama that's been played out. And, you know, if Coinbase is joining the official fight against the SEC in court, I'd be interested to know what these judges are going to come out with and see what they have to say about it all, because on paper, Coinbase is being upfront, transparent, and compliant. The SEC, who is Coinbase's boss, is basically saying, doing the opposite. We're not being transparent, and we're just going to slap these lawsuits on you without any reasoning. And yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be good for an employee. That wouldn't be good for any company if their authority is threatening them with these things and not telling them why, so they can't, like, that's what an annual review is at work, right? They're going to say, you haven't been doing good at X, Y, and Z. Therefore, you can start to work on getting better at X, Y, and Z so you can perform better. Well, the cats are saying hi to each other. So I guess we'll wrap it up before Lola asks for food, so I got to go feed her. Yeah, let me know what you think about this Coinbase versus SEC saga. We'll see how it plays out. I got to go feed Lola. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. This is just my blockchain reaction. Thank you for watching. Hey, thank you for watching to the very end. And before you go, please subscribe to the channel, crank up that like button, drop a comment, and share the video. If you want to join me on the VEUIT platform, the Web3 streaming platform, I'm going to migrate all my content over there and create new content on the blockchain. My referral link is in the description below.